I wanted to talk about some information we got from the latest One Piece chapter, where we were fully introduced to the Tobi Roppo, or the Flying Six. These are the six strongest headliners in Kaido's army. I'll be talking about their matchups in the oncoming Onigashima battle. So, without further ado, let me just get right into it. Introducing the first one, the one who caught my eye the most was Who's Who, of course. He was a swordsman. In the other chapter, we'd seen some guy with sandals and a sword. We assume that's a samurai, of course, with the sword. So, turns out it's not. The sword was actually Who's Who's. Yeah, his name is Who's Who. So the sword was Who's Who's, and the sandals were Sasaki's. So anyway, I expect Who's Who to be pitted against Zoro, because he seemed like the strongest, a contender for the strongest member of the Tobi Roppo. He seems to see himself as a top dog, and he's probably in Kaido's army because Kaido's stronger than him, and everyone on top is. But he definitely, we know top tiers don't necessarily give each other the kind of respect they do. But considering how Ulti was insulting Kaido and everyone freaked out, but anyone would freak out, that's Kaido. The last person to talk back to Kaido sent flying across the sea with a smirk of the his what's it called, the Kanobo. Yeah, so anyway, Who's Who is a possibly top contender, because he was the one asking who'd succeed Queen if he died that night. So anyway, I pit him against Zoro. Next we move to Sasaki. This guy, he has an interesting design. He kinda gives me the Impel Down vibes. He looks like a jailer with the hat, and the horns kind of reminds me of Hannibal. But anyway, he has a kind of mix-up between the samurai, the traditional Japanese attire, and the Impel Down jailers, complete with the cape. So anyway, given his horns, the way he looks, the way his demeanor kind of shows how he carries himself out, most people have already concluded, as I also do, that his power will be to transform into a Triceratops. If you don't know what that is, it's like it's a dinosaur, one of the strongest one, not exactly strongest, but it was a herbivore with 3 horns. So anyway, him, I'd kind of pit him against Jinbei, and maybe possibly Frankie. Yeah, but Jinbei mostly, because he also kind of looks like a fishman, might be half fishman, or yeah. The next person I might talk about is Ulti. Ulti, she was the one with the most sass, talking crap about Kaido without giving a damn. She has balls, man. So I guess she kinda is confident in her abilities. She knows maybe she can't. She's indispensable because of something. She might have. We're so hoping for a mythical zone. We've only seen 2 of those in the whole story, which has been spanning over 20 years. So the first one we were introduced to was introduced by Sengoku or Mako. Anyway, Sengoku could turn into the mythical human fruit model Buddha, which turned him into a giant golden Buddha with the ability to send shockwaves from his palms, and Mako, who basically turned into a phoenix. So I'm so hoping Ulti might have a mythical zone, or at least an ancient one, something we didn't see coming. Maybe a model butterfly or something. Okay, no, the butterfly, it's just too cliche. Anyway, I'll pit her against Nami, and possibly it might be a team up between Nami and Usopp. Yeah, cause I wonder how that kind of sass is only matched by Nami's kind of sass. So next person we'll move to will be Black Maria. I love that name. Her design is amazing. She's gorgeous and she's big. I can't wait to see the rest of her body. From how she's seated there, she kind of looks how what was her name? How Shirahoshi usually sat among other people because she seems like she's on her side. So she kind of reminds me of Shirahoshi, the big mermaid body, but it could be any other kind of body. You never know. This is Oda we're talking about, and it's in Wano. You might find she already is some kind of creature. But anyway, she might be a giant mermaid, hopefully, or maybe just a typical giant, or just a big human. We know the big humans exist in One Piece. We've seen Big Mom, who's almost that's almost 11 meters or 13 meters. No, around 9 meters, because we were told the shortest giant was at least 13 meters, 11 to 13 meters. Yeah. So we've seen big humans, they do exist. So she might be just that and we're overthinking it, but in any case, who'd be the best person to pit her against? I guess that's Robin, because she's demonstrated the power to produce or maybe let's say to build up a giant body parts, because her power basically is the flower fruit, which basically allows her to sprout her body parts on anywhere she's able to see. It's quite an interesting power, but she's been coming up with giant feet, giant legs that stomp enemies, giant hands that slap enemies, and we've seen her able to create an entire clone of herself that's able to move, speak, run. Oh, that's interesting. She might be able to create a giant clone of herself, like a full body, giant legs, giant feet, giant arms, the entire thing. So she might be able to fight with Black Maria. I wonder what powers she has. Might have another ancient zone or mythical zone. We have our fingers crossed. Anyway, on to the next one. We've seen Page One. Page One has already been introduced into the series. We saw him fight Sanji when he was looking for the soba cook. Yeah. So anyway, in that fight, Sanji shocked him. He kinda disappeared. So Page One was caught off guard. He couldn't follow up with keep up with Sanji's moves. So Sanji kind of got the win, and Page One has got a lot of shit from that, because everybody's been shitting on Page One now, saying he might be the weakest of the Tobi Roppo. But I don't think so, especially after his human design was introduced, because he kind of looks like a cold, calculating type. And what do we know about calculating types? They are very proficient in observation haki. So the next time he might go after Sanji for revenge. Of course, they definitely have to have a rematch, and it might be very different. It might be, because he probably has an understanding of observation haki, and he will be prepared for the invisibility. So it might be a very difficult fight for Sanji, but we know Sanji, a lot of people have been putting him up as a Yonko commander, but all honest, we haven't seen evidence of that, but this might be. Sanji will still win, but oh, it won't be an easy fight. And no, his design just completely caught me off guard because I thought it'd be the rough, emo, metal rock type looking kind of guy, especially with how he was acting when he was fighting before he fought Sanji. He was destroying the town, jumping out. He just looked kind of rowdy, but he looks very calculating. It might be an interesting fight. So anyway, we move on to X-Drake. X-Drake, we know X-Drake is a really powerful individual. We saw him pre-times keep stopping Uruj and Killer from fighting very easily, minimum effort ending his human form. He was really strong. Uruj, remember, he is a captain among the worst generation, although maybe the lowest ranked in terms of bounty. And Killer is also a worst generation member and a kid, but he was able to stop them fairly easily, and none of them wanted to continue the fight after that. So that kind of says something. Then he joined Kaido's army in 2 years ago. He actually sought him out because we know now that he's a sword member, which is a branch of the Marines. It's like a secret branch of the Marines set up for some purpose. We still don't know, but since we've seen a member of it, X-Drake, having infiltrated Kaido's army, so you can imagine the kind of ops or operations they'd be doing in Sword might be under the books kind of operations, like kind of, we'd say, black ops. Maybe the Sword are the black ops of the Marines. So anyway, X-Drake, see him being a captain in his own right of the DA's X-Drake's pirate crew. He is strong. Him being our generation member, even though we know he's still a member of the Marine, but he's really strong. So I'm expecting him to go. He was also Black Maria kind of implied he was the strongest of the Tobi Roppo. There's been a lot of discussion about that because there are two different translations. One kind of implied Black Maria was responding to who's question, meaning she was addressing who's who, but X-Drake's response out of nowhere kind of implies she was talking to him, because it kind of looks odd, just X-Drake's coming out of nowhere saying he's not interested in the post. Like, if you're not interested, nobody fucking asked you. Why would you just go out and say that you're not interested, unless she was talking directly to Drake? That makes the most sense to me. So I'm guessing X-Drake is the most powerful member of the Tobi Roppo, which makes sense considering the worst generations. What do I call it? Their growth. Kid by now is a top Yonko commander level. He was able to defeat a sweet commander in Big Mom's Tough. Lost to Kaido and Shanks, lost his arm to Shanks, and now to Kaido. But those are emperors who defeated him. None of the sweet commanders, none of the commanders, and he actually defeated one. So he might be up there. He might be like a middle commander or top commander level, but he's definitely at commander level. So Drake should also be above the Tobi Roppo, who are below the commander level. Get me? Yeah. So I think Drake will go against Luffy, just kind of trying to show uh, his loyalties to Kaido, but also kind of trying to deliver some information through Luffy, because he definitely, if he is a marine, he definitely knows Luffy's actions. Okay, not all of them, but some of them have actually been to the better of the Marines. He's actually cleaned up the Marines. Like, he kind of has a good guy vibe, and seeing as Sword, what's his name? The name of this kid, the kid who Luffy. Let me just check that. Oh yeah, Kobe. I don't know why that name just got out of my mind, but yeah, Kobe is a member of Sword, so we can safely determine that Sword are good Marines, like who are actually concerned in actual good work of the Marines. So yes, that's my matchup list. Who's who for Zoro, Sasaki for Jinbei or Frankie, Ulti for Nami or Usopp, Black Maria for Robin, and Page 1 for Sanji, and lastly X Drake for Luffy. Well, I'd love to know your matchups. What do you think? Who do you think will be matched up to who? Kindly drop your comments in the section. Like, share, and subscribe if you like my content. I'm Kozuki.D myself, and I was born to